Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's one of those videos where I'm working on something and I find something interesting. I figure I'll pick up the camera and make a video. So today we're talking about black locust. Does it live up to all the hype people give it? So I'm sure some of you are familiar with black locust trees and black locust lumber, but I'm sure there's as many people that aren't. So black locust is an extremely hard, dense wood, and it has long had a reputation for being excellent outside and withstanding the elements. For as long as I can remember, since I'm a little kid, it's almost like folklore, like an old wives' tale that, you know, you need black walnut. The old timers used them for fence posts. It's the best thing to last in the ground for 30 years. And, you know, it just has almost become the gospel, at least in this area. You know, you say the word black locust and people say, oh yeah, fence posts, you know, raised bed gardens. It's the best thing you can get. So I've been hearing that since I'm a kid, and I used to buy into that, and then I sawed some black locust and I wasn't so sure. In fact, I've used it for stair treads outside, and it's held up, but I didn't think it was the best thing in the world. So I've kind of been skeptical. I'd say the last few years I've been kind of skeptical when I hear that. I think it's one of those things that kind of gets overblown. Just like, you know, the common belief that walnut shavings are toxic to horses. I've heard people that raise horses tell me that's not true. I don't know. All I know is it's the gospel. You talk to the horse folks and they will tell you absolutely no walnut shavings. May or may not be true. The truth may be somewhere in the middle. You know, it's just one of those things that it gets said over and over again and it becomes gospel. So I say all that to get to where I'm at today. I'm actually sitting on a stack of black locust here. Now this black locust has been sitting out air drying with my air dried lumber for at least 12, probably 14 years. I know it sounds ridiculous. To make a long story short, I did a job for some folks way back when I was first starting out. I did a lot of work for them. I made some flooring. And one way or another, we had extra wood here. They supplied the wood and I just took it as part of my payment. And I used some of the black locust, and the rest of it just kind of got left out air drying as an afterthought. It was one of those deals, oh yeah, we're gonna sell that or use it for something one day, and one thing leads to another, and it stayed here. So it's been here for years, taking up space. And I've been sawing a lot of lumber the last 2 weeks, and I was short on stickers. So I finally bit the bullet and said, you know what? I'm gonna kill two birds with one stone. I'm gonna move that stack, free up space in my air drying yard, and I'm gonna rip that into stickers and try to get something out of it, because that lumber's shot. You know, I've been looking at it for years now and just thinking, oh, I can't sell that. It's too far gone. It's gonna definitely be rotten there in between the stickers, and I just got to get rid of it. But it's one of those things, you keep kicking the can down the road because, well, I got other things to do. So it's just sat and sat and sat. One thing led to another. Here we are 14 years later. So I bring it over here to the shop to make some stickers, and I kind of got a surprise. As I started going through it, it might have held up better than I thought. So you can see what I'm working with here. This does not look appealing at all. I mean, it is gray and weathered, and from my experience with any other wood, this space in between the stickers will have become moldy and punky and just stained up, undesirable. You can see there were obviously chipmunks or something in the stack. Now I've peeled off the top couple layers already and made some stickers, and now we're kind of halfway down through the stack. This was a board that was on top. You can see that's not so hot. I mean, that was a bad piece of lumber to start with, but it's just not not a desirable thing. So I thought for sure, well, this is a lost cause. You know, this should be firewood, but I'll make stickers and get something out of it. Take it into the shop, I start ripping it into stickers, and I think, well, wait a minute, this actually is cleaning up really nice. So that got me to thinking, maybe people are right about black locust. You know, there's no way this lumber should have sat out uncovered that long and still be usable. So maybe, you know, my previous experiences have kind of biased me the opposite, the wrong way. Maybe, you know, what people say about the longevity of this stuff and how it stands up to the weather is true. So what I'm thinking we're going to do here, I'm going to take a piece or two of this, and I haven't done this yet, so you're going to do it with me. We're going to run it through the planer, and we're going to see what this stuff cleans up as. So I'm going to show you before and after, and we'll judge it together. So let me grab 2 boards here and we'll take them into the shop. All right, so I picked out 2 boards, and quite honestly, I picked out some of the worst that I could find. They were on the edges, they got the most weather. You can see that does not look too appealing at all. That looks like some bad lumber, to be honest with you. So let's fire up the Northfield here. We're going to run them through and see what they look like. Well, I have to say I am thoroughly impressed. Take a look. So would you think that that's lumber that sat out for 14 years, uncovered, in the elements? Now obviously that was a spot, a bad defect in the log. That's not from drying or anything. That was just there when it was sawed. Same with that big open knot. But there is no sticker stain. There's no punkiness. There's no powder post beetle or any other insect damage. The worst you have here is these weathered cracks, and that's from, you know, moisture drying, the expansion contraction. You'll get that in any wood, but quite honestly, I mean, that is mild compared to anything else you'd see in any other wood. So that is very impressive. I would have to say the old timers are right. If you want to put something outside that's not pressure treated lumber or not cedar, I would say black locust. I cannot believe that this stack looks the way it does. I thought I had a stack of firewood there. From the outside, it did not look nice at all, but it cleans up real good. So some other things I can tell you about black locust. It is hard, extremely hard. It's not one of my favorite woods to work with at all. It's right up there with hickory. I mean, it saws hard. It's very difficult to saw. It's just really hard on blades. This particular job I was referencing, where this came from, I made black locust flooring. Ugh. I don't recommend that for anybody. It is miserable. It wore down carbide tongue and groove. I remember that. It actually wore down the blades. So it was not a fun job. That was in my younger days when I didn't know any better, and yeah, sure, I can make flooring out of that. Well, that was a fight. You may have seen here the tear out. Once again, very similar to hickory, extremely hard to plane just because it is so dense. Obviously that has a correlation why it lasts so long outside. You can tell when you pick up a piece of this next to a piece of something else, it is just super dense, super hard. It has a very unique yellow color. You can see here kind of like a golden, slightly greenish hue to it. It's very unique, a nice looking wood, very nice, but it's a chore to work with. So I mentioned I was making stickers out of it, and I'll give you a little bonus here. We'll talk about that. So I left a handful up here knowing I was going to do this. These are going to make some of the finest stickers I have, honestly. It's maybe a shame to rip it up into stickers, but they will be well used as stickers without a doubt. So the way I make my stickers, I've done it different ways over the years. Now the easiest way for me to do it, I'll take cull boards, usually 1-inch boards, but it doesn't really matter how thick they are, anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches, and I'll trim them to 4 foot long because that's my standard sticker length. All my stickers are 4 foot. And then very simply, I just set my straight line rip saw and I just take those 4 foot blanks and just rip, 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 and I rip my stickers. My stickers are 7/8 inch thick. I know a lot of people are using 3/4 inch stickers. That's kind of the standard thing. Why are my stickers 7/8? Well, when I started out, I realized I had to plane my stickers, and I didn't have a planer powerful enough to get me from 1 inch to 3/4 inch in one pass, and I didn't want to put the labor into planing them twice, so I settled on 7/8. And I've standardized, and that's just what they've always been, and that's what they always will be. If anything, it gives me a little bit better airflow. So to me, it's extremely important to plane at least one side. The way I'm doing it now, I end up with 2 smooth sides to make sure they're uniform. That is the single most important thing about your stickers. They all have to be exactly the same. If you have one that's 1 inch and one that's 7/8 and one that's 3/4 and you put them all in the same row, well, guess what? Your lumber's not supported and it's going to follow those stickers and you're going to get wavy lumber. So to me, it is extremely important that all my stickers are dead uniform. I take the time and make them all uniform by planing or ripping, and then when I place them, as long as I have that smooth side up and down, I know I'm good. So that's how I do stickers. I'll probably do a video about air drying. That's a pretty important topic that I've never talked about, and like I said, I have a lot of lumber out air drying right now, so it'd probably be a good time here in the next couple of weeks. We'll talk about proper air drying because that is really the key to nice lumber. So this was just a little impromptu thing like I'm infamous for doing, but it just gave me a new appreciation of black locust, and kind of taught me that maybe the old timers did know something, and maybe I was a little bit wrong in my prejudice towards it. I think it's nice wood. Do I want to saw it? Not necessarily. Do I want to plane it and machine it? Not really, but you know, for what it is, you know, if you have small trees and you want to cut them up and put them right in the ground as fence posts, well, that's probably a pretty good use, or any other outdoor structure. So that's what I got for you on this one. Just a little interesting anecdote I found in my day-to-day. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.